Before we get to the video, dive into epic who will win, battles, and captivating true crime mini-documentaries. Remember, all content requests must be made on Discord or Reddit. Any requests made elsewhere will be deleted and ignored. Also get exclusive merch, discounts, and enjoy virtual games while connecting with fellow fans in our community. Join the top 5 eBay community on Discord and Reddit today. Don't miss out, links in description.
Welcome back to Top 5.
As the sun dipped below the horizon, the sprawling arena radiated with fervor, the reverberating cheers and uproar coalescing into a singular roar that engulfed the air. This was the semifinal of the legendary Who Will Win tournament, and two of the fiercest champions, a cosmic powerhouse known as Captain Marvel, ranked 10, and the nearly invincible Superman, ranked 2, stood ready to square off. Captain Marvel floated a few feet above the ground, her vibrant red and blue costume glimmering like a beacon under the arena lights. Her eyes shimmered with an intensity fueled by cosmic energy, her demeanor unwavering. Across from her, Superman stood tall, exuding a calm confidence that bordered on arrogance as the smirk on his face suggested he expected an easy victory. "Let's get it on," she called out, her voice ringing with determination. "Give me your best shot," Superman replied, his tone mocking yet playful, inviting her to commence the battle. In a flash, she surged forward, the air sizzling in her wake, fist drawn back. "Photon blast," she shouted, charging up a brilliant arc of energy that surged towards him like a comet. The beam struck Superman squarely in the chest, illuminating the arena with a blinding light. To the audience's shock, he staggered back, caught off guard for a moment. "Not bad," he said, a hint of admiration breaking through his facade, but before he could regain his footing, Captain Marvel lunged again. "Now you see me." With a swift upward motion, she flew above him and positioned herself for a devastating aerial drop kick. The blow connected with astonishing force, yet Superman blocked it with his arm, using the impact to push her backward. She rebounded and flipped into the air, her strength almost unfathomable. "Come on, Kal-El," she taunted, grit and determination infusing her voice. "Is that all you've got?" Superman scoffed, his expression switching from playful to serious. "Let's see how long you can keep that bravado," he shot back, launching himself forward in a blur. The two collided mid-air, a flurry of punches exchanged at superhuman speeds. Each impact resonated like thunder, shaking the very ground itself. Captain Marvel unleashed a powerful right hook that Superman ducked under, retaliating with a rapid sequence of jabs that caught her on the side, each hit stronger than the last. Captain Marvel staggered from the hit but quickly regained her composure. She unleashed an energy-infused uppercut that connected with Superman's chin, sending him spiraling backward. The audience erupted, their enthusiasm palpable as they promised an epic showdown between the two greatest champions. "Is that all?" Superman retorted, rubbing his chin as he steadied himself mid-air. "You can hit a little harder than that." Fueling her energy further, she executed a dazzling series of maneuvers, unleashing her energy into a fierce cosmic surge. An explosive wave of raw energy erupted, engulfing the arena in bright cosmic light. Superman absorbed the surge, but felt the intensity graze him, marking the first time all fight he expressed genuine effort. Rallying quickly, he charged at her again, eyes glowing red as he invoked his heat vision. The laser-like beams seared through the air toward her, a relentless wave of destructive heat. Captain Marvel narrowly dodged, the edge of the blast grazing her side and scorching her skin. She felt the pain but channeled it, powering her next move. With ferocity, she soared high into the arena's sky, gathering energy. "Comet strike," she bellowed, her body transforming into a luminous projectile aimed straight down at Superman. As she descended, she glowed brighter than a sun, the energy around her crackling with power. Superman prepared to counter, but the trajectory surprised him. "Oh no," he whispered aloud, realizing too late to evade. The impact was catastrophic, sending shockwaves through the arena as she collided with him, the force resembling a meteorite crashing to Earth. The arena shuddered from the collision. Superman gasped under the weight of the blow but rallied quickly as debris flew in every direction. The two tumbled through the air, locked together in a fierce struggle. With a burst of strength, he redirected their trajectory, slamming Captain Marvel into the ground. The dust cleared to unveil an enormous crater where she landed. Superman landed atop the edge, breathing heavily yet unscathed. "You're tougher than I thought," he admitted, surprising both her and the spectators. Captain Marvel pushed herself up, defiance burning in her eyes. With a furious scream, she flared her energy, infusing her fists with power before charging at him again, intent on closing the distance. She delivered a flurry of rapid punches, each trailing sparks of light. Superman absorbed the first few with casual ease, but the next few were delivered with enough ferocity to stagger him once more. "Come on, let's see you bleed," she shouted, digging deep into her reserves, her body shimmering with energy as she prepared to unleash the full force of her abilities. Suddenly, Superman retaliated with a devastating haymaker, straining every muscle as he launched her to the ground once more. The force of the punch felt akin to a freight train colliding with her, and she slammed into the earth, hitting the ground with tremendous impact. The spectators gasped, the sound reverberating through the arena as dirt and debris exploded outward around her. Determined not to stay down, Captain Marvel staggered to her feet, shaking off the impact. She countered with an energy-laden kick that sure-footed Superman but allowed him to quickly recover. His smirk faded, replaced with newfound focus, as he brought his hand back. With a sudden surge, he closed the distance, delivering a string of rapid punches to her abdomen that knocked the wind from her. She gasped as each blow reverberated through her, a powerful testament to Superman's strength. "Try this." He lifted her off the ground, flinging her away with all the force he could muster. She soared several dozen feet before crashing into the arena wall, creating a sizable dent in the structure. As Captain Marvel pulled herself up from the debris, wishful thoughts dashed through her mind. Her powers surged, but the pain was claiming its toll. With a defiant roar, she darted into the air again, channeling every ounce of her cosmic energy. Photon burst, she screeched, unleashing another massive pulse of energy towards Superman, who stood steady. He shielded himself with crossed forearms, feeling the blast buffet against him but remained astonished at her unwavering will. It was starting to dawn on him that she was not just a worthy opponent, she was a battle-forged warrior. As the last remnants of the blast faded, Captain Marvel seized her moment, propelling herself forward, fists glowing brightly. But Superman was ready. With a swift sidestep, he evaded her attack and retaliated with astonishing speed. His fist found its way into her midsection with unbridled force, sending shockwaves through her entire being. The blow knocked her back, but he wasn't done. In a seamless motion, he unleashed a swift knee to her gut, leaving her gasping for breath. "Is this really how hard you can fight?" he taunted, every punch intensifying the brutality of the exchange. "You'll have to try harder than that." With every devastating hit, Captain Marvel fought to keep her focus, blocking and dodging as best as she could. Yet, in a violent flurry, Superman launched at her again, this time delivering a series of punishing blows, each one aimed at further breaking her resolve. She felt herself growing weaker as the brutality of the contest caught up with her. But she was not ready to yield. Focusing her powers, she managed to land a punch to his jaw, sending him staggering sideways, a costly but momentary victory. "Now it's my turn," she yelled, channeling every scrap of her cosmic energy as she prepared one last attack, her body illuminated in radiant light. "This ends now." Superman, however, was relentless. He buried her into the ground with a crushing overhand strike that sent the arena quaking beneath their feet. As she hit, the sound of the impact echoed like thunder. Desperate and gasping, Captain Marvel launched one final powerful photon blast, a dazzling ray of light that shot from her hands. The arena erupted again, this time, the light consuming the space around them. Superman braced himself against the fury of the attack, his eyes narrowing as he summoned every ounce of strength to withstand it. The beam connected with him, illuminating his form as he struggled against it, but he stood firm. With an unwavering look, he shouted back, mustering the energy deep within, and countered. "You've done your best, but now it's mine," he roared, unleashing a rapid-fire volley of heat vision back at her. The two powers clashed, a furious storm of light and heat mashing together in an explosive spectacle as the energy pulsed in a wild, beautiful dance of yin and yang. The force between them shook the arena, sending spectators reeling back. But in a shocking moment, Superman's heat vision overwhelmed her blast. The mix of energies ignited, and the explosion spewed a wave of raw force across the arena. Caught in the tumult, Captain Marvel staggered back, overwhelmed. Yet in that heartbeat of despair, with sheer determination and strength fueling every last ounce of her cosmic abilities, she propelled herself in one final act of bravery. "Not yet," she roared, willing her body to defy all odds as she soared toward him one last time, igniting with all her remaining energy and fists clenched tight. But Superman was ready. With a fierce determination igniting in his eyes, he launched himself forward, a meteor of fury and strength. In an instant, their forces collided once more, the very air around them igniting into a cataclysm of destruction. A monstrous punch slammed into Captain Marvel's face, catching her unprepared, the force of the blow sending her hurtling backward, her vision blurring. She felt the agony radiate through her skull, raw, brutal, and unyielding. Superman followed with an unrelenting blow, a knee to her gut that knocked her breath away, and finally, with one last, bone-shattering uppercut, he sent her careening into the sky, the impact reverberating through the air like a battle cry. With the crowd holding its breath, the sight of Captain Marvel falling back to the arena floor left them speechless, shock replacing the cheers. She landed with a heartbreaking thud, groaning in pain. As she struggled to stand, every fiber of her being screamed at her to rise, yet her body betrayed her. Superman, hovering in the air just above her, scanned the arena, his breath heavy with the intensity of their battle. He landed before her, the defeat clear in her eyes. Captain Marvel, despite all her might, was at the edge of collapse. "You fought valiantly," he said, genuine respect coated with sadness permeating his voice. But there was no sympathy in the arena, only the mounting tension as they awaited his final move. As she rose to her knees, the dent of the battle evident in her once proud stance, Superman stared down at her with an unflinching gaze. With his hand becoming engulfed in a radiant light of fury and finality assembling, it was clear he was preparing to deliver one last blow. "Goodbye," he said simply, the finality echoing in the tense atmosphere. Before she could muster a response or a fight, with brutal precision, Superman unleashed his final strike, a punch that was more than just strength, it was the culmination of all the power and fury he had restrained. The blow connected with her face, and Captain Marvel flew back again, disappearing into the shadows of the arena, the reverberation of her body against the ground echoing like the tolling of a bell. The arena fell into a hush, the spectators absorbing the overwhelming violence of the fight, the air thick with disbelief and reverence. Superman stood, breathing heavily, knowing his victory was at hand, but feeling the weight of the battle they had fought. He turned to face the audience, acknowledging their cheers, but deep down, he knew that for every win, there was a cost. Captain Marvel had fought with every ounce of her strength, a warrior unyielding until the very end, her spirit forever imprinted on the arena. As the dust settled in the aftermath of the titanic clash, one thing remained clear: the battle was fierce, violent, and echoing in the hearts of those who watched. Though victory belonged to Superman, Captain Marvel would be remembered as a champion who fought valiantly against insurmountable odds, embodying the spirit of heroes for all time.